Hey everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. In this episode of our vegan starter kit, I am partnering with Grubhub to share my top tips for how to make eating out at a restaurant or ordering food out as easy as possible as vegan. Luckily, more and more vegan restaurants or restaurants with vegan menu options are popping up every single day, which does make our lives a little bit easier, but if you're new to this lifestyle or just in an unfamiliar area, this concept can still be challenging. Going out to eat or ordering food from a restaurant is also a huge part of our culture as a society in general, and just because you're a vegan doesn't mean that you should have to miss out on the fun, the convenience, or the social aspect of sharing a meal with someone else. So here are my tips. My first tip is to stick to the staples. There are a few genres of restaurants that typically will always offer a vegan-friendly option. The first of these examples would be an Asian restaurant, as they typically don't cook with a lot of dairy, so you could order things like a vegetable stir-fry. They'll often have a lot of different tofu dishes or dishes with rice and maybe a vegetable soup. One thing to keep in mind is to just make sure they don't use any fish sauce when they're preparing your food, and that if you do order a soup that the broth is vegan. Additionally, I find Indian restaurants to be pretty friendly, as Indian food doesn't normally use a lot of dairy. There are a few different tomato-based curries that you can order that are typically prepared in a vegan way, just in general. And some of their other curries may use coconut milk instead of regular milk, so it's always good to ask your server. One thing to just keep in mind with Indian food is to make sure that you're not ordering food with ghee. Ghee is just a clarified form of butter, which obviously comes from a cow, so it's not vegan. And then finally, believe it or not, I also really like to order from pizza places. If you have a good dough and a good sauce and you put enough veggies on it, you really don't even miss the cheese, and it's as equally as delicious. So because I'm currently filming a video and it would be kind of complicated for me to go out to eat at the same time, I'm just going to use the Grubhub app on my phone to show you how easy ordering a vegan meal can be. And plus, this way, I don't have to put real pants on. So the Grubhub app is also cool because you can search by types of cuisine as well. So I could type in vegan and I can see what restaurants offer vegan options, but I'm just going to search by my location for overall convenience. Alright, so as you can see, based on my location, I have quite a few different options. I do have some Indian places, some Asian places, a sushi place, but I think I'm gonna go with pizza today. So I'm gonna order from the California Pizza Kitchen. Alright, now back to my tips. My second tip is to do your research. Nowadays, most restaurants will have a PDF version of their menu online on their website, so if you're going out to eat with some friends and you're not sure if the restaurant is going to be vegan friendly or have a vegan option, it's always smart to check ahead of time just to make sure that there will be something for you. Also, a lot of restaurants nowadays, especially if it's a larger chain, will post either nutritional or allergen information, and this can be really helpful for vegans because it labels what items on their menus will have milk or eggs in them, so it makes it even easier to decipher if a dish is vegan, because sometimes they'll sneak those products in some sauce or something. So I actually went to the California Pizza Kitchen website and was able to find this PDF document that has allergy information, and what is even cooler is that they actually have pages specifically for vegetarians and vegans. So by looking at this page, I can see what options that I can order based on a vegan diet, so I can be sure what I'm ordering is actually going to be vegan. Additionally, if you're trying to find a vegan restaurant in your area, or maybe you're on vacation, I would suggest using Happy Cow. It's an online website that has a list of all of the vegan, vegetarian, and veg-friendly restaurants in any given area, and it is a worldwide database, so no matter where you are, you can search to see if there is a vegan-friendly restaurant near you. My third tip is to call ahead. So if the menu information is a little unclear, or you just have a question and you're not really sure if a certain item is going to be vegan, feel free to call the restaurant and ask either the server or the chef, whoever answers the phone, if they can answer your question, and they should be more than happy to help you out because they want your business. Additionally, if you're going to a nicer restaurant where all the food is prepared in-house, you may be able to call the restaurant ahead of time and ask the chef or one of the cooks to prepare a vegan meal for you if there aren't any other options on the menu. Personally, I don't feel the need to call the California Pizza Kitchen because they had that nutritional information available online, and it's just easy to order everything on my phone and not have to call anyone, and I feel pretty good about it, so I'm gonna skip this step, but feel free to do it if you need to do it. Alright, back to my Grubhub order. So luckily California Pizza Kitchen has quite a few options that I can make to be vegan friendly, so I'm just going to go ahead and order. I'm going to go with the California Veggie Pizza. So it has baby broccoli, eggplant, cremini mushroom, sun-dried tomatoes, roasted corn, red onions, and mozzarella. It's vegetarian but not vegan, but we can easily make it vegan. So it says on their website that all of their crusts are in fact vegan, so I'm going to get a whole grain crust because, you know, I don't know, extra fiber. I do not want to top my pizza with eggs, and I would like some toppings. There are already a lot of veggies, but personally I like olives, so I think I'm going to add some black olives as well. And the great thing about the Grubhub app is I don't have to call ahead because I can just specify in the special instructions that I would like this pizza to be vegan, so I'm going to politely ask them for no cheese. Alright, and now that we're done with that, I'm going to add it to my bag. Alright, so if you're really in a bind, you didn't have time to call the restaurant ahead of time or do any research, this fourth tip is going to apply to you, and it is to shop the sides. Even if you're in a restaurant that may not necessarily be vegan or vegetarian friendly, usually a lot of restaurants will offer side dishes that are less expensive than the entree prices and that may have a vegan option. So if, for example, you find yourself in an unfortunate situation where you're at a steakhouse or something, usually they'll have sides of sauteed vegetables or roasted potatoes. You just want to make sure it's not cooked in any butter or anything. And other restaurants may have sides of beans, of rice, of a side salad, a fruit cup. You can kind of treat it as like a combo meal and mix and match the different sides to make your own plate. Or if there's a salad that has meat on it, for example, maybe you could ask a server to substitute a side of beans in place of the chicken on your salad. And then finally, last but not least, as someone who used to work in the food industry, I really want to stress the importance of being kind. Saying please and thank you to your server can really go a long way and make both your experience and their experience working in the restaurant better. You have to understand that while you are going out to eat and you want a good experience from your server, they are also working and serving people around you as well. Unfortunately, servers can't only attend to one table as the restaurant in general, so they kind of have to weigh every person's needs and do what is best for the whole group. So that being said, you are more than entitled to order a complicated order and pick different ingredients off of different menu items and ask a server if it's possible for them to put the dish together. But just realize that that does put a lot of stress on the kitchen if they're trying to serve a lot of other people at the same time, and it does provide more stress for your server as well. So personally, I believe that if you order a more complex meal, which like I said before, you're more than entitled to, just remember to give your server an appropriate tip. And speaking of tipping, please remember to tip your server and anyone who is serving you when you're ordering from someone in the food industry. This is a major part of their salary, and like I said, I used to be a server, and it's very frustrating to work really hard and not receive part of your money. And you may agree or disagree with this system, but unfortunately, you not tipping the server isn't going to change the system. And it does depend on where you live, but typically in the United States, you want to make sure you're tipping around 20% if you're going out to eat at a restaurant, and if it's a delivery, you want to tip at least 10% as well. I just had to put that in there because I used to work at a restaurant, and I know, and I feel bad for all the people who receive bad tips. But yeah. Also, my last little sub tip for this section, something that I just personally think is really cool, is to thank a restaurant for serving vegan options. Now, if you go to a vegan restaurant, you don't really have to thank them, but if you're going to a restaurant that isn't normally vegan, or they catered especially to you, or they just had a vegan option that was very easy for you to order, I think it's awesome to either thank your server directly or write it on their check, because they will most likely tell their boss about that, and it will make their day and make them happy to know that they made a customer happy. And if you think about it, you really do vote with your dollar. So when you choose to pick a vegan menu item and you thank a restaurant for it, they're going to mentally note that, and if enough people do it, hopefully they'll start putting even more and more vegan options on their menu. Okay, so it's been like half an hour-ish and my pizza is here and I'm excited to show you. Came in this nice little box and they totally loaded up the veggies and it looks amazing. Like, oh yes, so excited. Very flavorful too. I like the whole wheat crust. I'll be honest, I'll probably add some nutritional yeast to this before I eat the rest, just because nutritional yeast is life. But overall, I am very, very impressed. So that pretty much sums up all of my tips for how to eat out as a vegan. But because Grubhub is sponsoring this video, I do have a special deal for you guys. Simply click the link in the description of this video in order to get $7 off your first order. Personally, I love food, but I love discounted food even more. So, you know, you might want to check it out if you're anything like me. But other than that, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful and be sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below what topic you want me to cover next for the vegan starter kit. And I'm actually pretty hangry right now and I'm very excited to dig into my pizzas, so I'm just gonna end this video here. Okay, bye!